Okay, let's start the lesson. Good morning, everyone. Today we have our grammar lesson about comma. Comma, we will see where are the places, what are the places, and how to use it in a sentence, in my writing, in my letter, or in anything that we are using in English language. Okay, now first we need to know what is a comma. Adam, can you read it, please?
An informational paragraph gives facts on a topic. On a topic, it usually begins with a topic sentence.
Adam, I cannot hear you. Are you reading what is on my screen? Something that is on the screen.
The comma tells the reader to pause between the words that it separates.
Excellent. So first of all, we need to know what is a comma. So comma, like we see here in the red color, it is a small thing that we all know how to use it, where to use it. It is basically used to give us a pause, to tell us where to take a pause, where to stop for a little bit, and then continue reading again. It is basically used for separating. So when we are using commas, it is going to tell us that, okay, now there is a comma, I need to take a break. I need to take a breath. I need to take a pause. Stop for a little bit and then continue my reading again. Even if I'm writing something and I use a comma in between, this means the person who is going to read it, he will know, okay, I finish one thing, I put a comma, now I'm going to talk about another thing. So comma is used to separate different things in the writing. We will see where are the places where we can use comma. Okay, now first rule number 1. Raghat, can you please read it for us?
Rule number 1. Use commas to
Separate
items in a
items.
first. Put a comma after each sentence in the first. Keep except the last one.
Excellent, thank you. So rule number 1, the first rule and the most commonly used rule of using a comma, when I am talking about more than one thing in a sentence, I am talking about different items. Items means different things. After each item, I am going to use a comma. So first one we have here, the example, the man brought tomatoes, comma, apple, comma, and peaches to the party. So when I'm talking about more than one thing, after each thing, I must put a comma. So we will know, okay, this is a separate thing. Tomatoes is a separate thing. Apples is a separate thing. And we will stop putting the comma before the last one because and peaches means there is nothing more after peaches. So there we do not need comma. Like for example, in my class, when I'm talking about Raghat, comma, Noor, comma, Leen, comma, Vidyan, and Ishel are here. So before the last one, we do not need it. But when we have more than one thing, after each thing, we must put a comma to separate different things in a sentence. Can you give me more examples, please? Someone was saying teacher, teacher. Yes, please.
I want to read only.
Okay, read these green sentences. The second one.
The man brought tomatoes, apples, and peaches to the party. Books, magazines, newspapers, and CDs can be found in the library.
Excellent. See here in the second sentence also, books, comma, another thing, magazines, comma, another thing, newspapers, comma, and CDs can be found in the library. Before the last thing, I do not need comma, but when I am talking about more than one thing in a sentence, after each thing, I must put a comma and separate each thing. So this is the first rule, and this is the most commonly used rule of a comma, that I am talking about more than one thing. I will put comma after each thing inside a sentence. Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now we have here the example. Practice using commas in a series. First one is the wrong sentence where you see this tick mark. When I see this dot, this means this is the correct one. Malik, can you read it? The first one?
The students use it glue,
Scissors,
scissors,
rulers,
rulers, and
staples.
staples for the project.
Excellent. So this is the first one. There is no comma in this sentence, but the person has talked about more than one thing. Now we see the second one, this one. This one is correct. The students used glue, comma, scissors, comma, rulers, comma, and staples for their project. So before each thing, I am using a comma. And when I see the last one, this means stop, no more commas. That's how we use commas in separating different things inside a sentence. Now the second one. Ali, read the second one. Ali is here?
Yes.
Yes, please. 1 minute, Clean. Please let him read.
Okay.
Okay, 1 minute. Cars.
That's buses.
Buses. Cycles.
Motorcycle. Cloud.
Okay, so we have here the wrong one. Cars, trucks, buses, or motorcycles could use the road. So this is the wrong one. They have talked about more than one thing. Then we see the correct one, the last one. Again, this is the correct one. Cars, comma, trucks, comma, buses, or motorcycles could use the road. So simply when I'm separating this one and more things, I have to use comma before them. Rule number 2. Aline, can you read it, please?
Okay. The oxen tried to pull the wagon, the blue one or the black one?
The blue one, please.
Two short related sentences can be made into one sentence. You use a comma and the connecting word and, but, or.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, this is rule number 2. This is what we have done in the conjunctions lesson also. That was 2 weeks ago. That whenever I'm joining two sentences, I have to use a comma and conjunction inside a sentence.
I want to
So this is again. Okay, now Noor, can you read the black one?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes, Aline, you have a question?
Yes.
Please ask me.
Lean, comma, Sarah, comma, Lilas without comma.
Yes, no, and Leela's without comma, and before Leela's you have to put and. So Leen, comma, Sarah, and Leela's, because Leela's is the last one. So before the last one, I have to put and no comma before that.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, now we have here another example. The oxen tried to pull the wagon. This is one sentence. The second sentence, the cart was stuck in the mud. So this is the wrong one. It's two separate sentences. Now how I can join them? Yes, Noor, you can read it now.
The oxen tried to pull the wagon. The cart was stuck in the mud. The oxen tried to pull the wagon, but the wagon was stuck in the mud.
Excellent, thank you. Now we see two separate sentences, how we simply join them with the help of comma and the conjunction word. If you remember our lesson 2 weeks ago, that whenever we are joining two sentences, we have to use a comma and the conjunction word, and, but, or. So simply, this is the rule number 2 for using a comma. I'm joining two sentences, and before each sentence, I have to put a comma, the conjunction word, and then continue with the next sentence. Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now here we have another examples for it. I want someone to read them faster because we are running out of time. Yes, Kareem, can you read it?
I read faster.
Kareem, can you read it, please?
Okay.
The first one.
The students were studying. The teacher was correcting papers.
Excellent. See, this is the first one. The two simple sentences written separately. Now, how I can join them? By using a comma and the conjunction word. Read it again, Kareem.
The first one.
No, the second one.
They were studying and the teacher was correcting papers.
Excellent. See, we see here the two separate sentences. When they were joined, we must use a comma. When we join two separate sentences, we have to use a comma and the conjunction word. Now, another example, I will read it. Most children were playing outside. Some children went to the library. Again, I have two separate sentences written as is. When I'm going to join these two sentences, I have to use a comma and another word to join them. So this is the second rule of how to use commas in English language. Okay.
I will read this, the last one.
Okay, now we have here rule number 3. Rule number 3. Ishal, can you please read it?
Yes.
Yes, Ishal, can you please read it? Starting from blue.
Use commas to set off words yes, not, and well when they are at the beginning of a sentence.
Excellent. Read the first sentence.
Yes, I can come to the party.
The second one.
No, you do
Teacher,
not need to bring
I
a
want to make
present.
number 3.
Yes, Malik, read number 3. Thank you, Ishal.
Well, I might just bring some extra snacks.
Excellent. So this is the simple rule which we use whenever we have the word yes, no, or the word well. When I'm writing the word yes in the beginning of a sentence, after yes, I have to use the comma. When I'm writing no at the beginning of the sentence, after no, I have to use the comma. When I'm writing well in the beginning of the sentence, then again I have to use a comma because it gives me a break. It gives me a pause when I'm reading. Yes, I can come to the party. No, you do not need to bring a present. Well, I might just bring some extra snacks. So just to give me a pause. This is the rule which is used when I am reading something. When I'm reading a story and two people are talking in the story, then we can see this, that yes, okay, when I'm talking about something going yes, I will put a pause so the reader who is reading the story can take a pause. When I say the word no, again, the reader can take a break and take a pause. So this is how we use commas for writing yes, no, and well. Now we move on to the next rule. Now this one we do not have in this rule. Yes, this one. Rule number 5. Rule number 5. Yes, Adam, can you read it, please?
I can read it. Use a comma to separate the month and the day from the year.
Excellent.
January.
Yes, continue.
January the day 3 to 2006. The United States became a nation on July 4, 1776.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, this is the most commonly used, and this is what we have in this lesson also, that whenever we are writing the date, so the month and the day are separated from the year. Now, you see here the month, January, and the date 3. means the 3rd January needs to be separated from the year. So I have to put a comma between the month and the date and the year. The United States became a nation on July 4, 1776. So every time the comma will come between the date and the year. The month and date remains together. We will not put a comma because we are talking about January 3, means the 3rd of January. No need for comma there. 2006. July 4 together, then separate 1776. So this is how we separate and put comma only one time between the month, the day, separated from the year. So remember this whenever we are using it. This means the date and month needs to be separated from the year. Only one comma in it. We cannot put 2 commas. Like I cannot have another comma here after January. No, because January, the month and the date, they need to be together. Then I will put a comma and write the name of or the number of the year. The United States became a nation on July 4, 1776. The third example that we can use it, we are having our grammar class on April 19, 2020. I was born on March 30, 1991, or any date. So this is how we separate the month and day combined, and the year will always be separated with a comma. This is what we have in our lesson also today.
I want.
Okay, this is also what we have in today's lesson. Vidyan, can you please read it for us?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Rule 6. Use a comma between the names of a city and a state.
Excellent. So when I'm using a name of a city and my name of my state or my country, again, I have to put a comma between these two. Yes, Vidyan, read it. Clackamas, comma, Oregon.
Clackamas, Oregon.
Oregon. Milwaukee, comma,
Milwaukee, Oregon.
Oregon. This is just 2 separate states of America. Otherwise, if I am talking about Riyadh and Saudi Arabia, I can simply put a comma between the city and the country. I'm talking about, you can say maybe in Cairo and Egypt. So between the city and the country, I will put a comma. Can someone give me another example? A city and a country?
Teacher Million.
Yes, Lane, please.
Jordan and Syria.
No, those are 2 separate countries. Those are 2 separate countries. I have to talk about the country and the city. So you can say Amman, comma, Jordan. So the same country and the same city, I will put a comma in between.
Jordan, يا ربي.
Yeah, so exactly. Yes, exactly. So one city, comma, the name of the country. Like I can say Makkah, comma, Saudi Arabia. Excellent. So the name of the city where I live, comma, then I will write the name of the country, the same country, because they both belong to the same area. So, but I have to separate them. So the person who is reading, or if it is written on a letter, then it will be easy for him to know, okay, this is the name of the country, comma, then there is the name of the city. Yes, Noor, you want to say something?
Yes, Rabat, Morocco.
Exact. So I will write Rabat, comma, Morocco. Excellent.
Teacher, I know it now. Amman, comma, Agabe, comma,
Jordan.
and Zara.
Excellent. Okay, now I think maybe this is the last rule. Last rule, who is going to read it? Abdul Rahman, can you read it, please?
Use a comma after the
Greeting
and closing of
friendly letter.
Friendly tale.
Read the black one also.
Sarah,
Dear Uncle
Uncle
Ralph.
Ralph.
The last one.
Yours, Sarah.
Truly. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, now this is, I think, maybe the last rule for our using of commas, that when I'm talking to someone, when I'm writing a letter, so in the beginning, after the name, I have to use a comma, like Dear Uncle Ralph. You can say Dear, or any name here, Dear Uncle Ahmed, or Dear Uncle Muhammad. So any, or Dear Aunt Sarah, Dear Aunt, any name. So I am using the beginning of the letter, the name, and then the comma. Just once. Then I will write the letter, whatever I want to say. I'm writing it to my teacher, I'm writing it to my uncle, I'm writing it to my mother, to my sister, to my brother, or to anyone. I will complete all I have to write. Then in the end, I will again write yours truly. Or if I'm writing it to my mother, I will say your son. Or if I'm writing it to someone I love, I will write I love you, then again comma, and in the end my name. So it just says in the beginning and in the ending, I have to put comma after the name, and in the ending, before writing my name. These are the two places where I will write comma. Yes, everyone? Okay, now these are the practices. Now I think we can start doing the page, because we do not have enough time like every time. Now this is our first page. First thing first, I will write the date on the top. Okay, today is 19th April. Oops.
Teacher, I finished the first page.
You finished the first page? Okay, now what do we have to do here is, I have to identify, there are 5 sentences here. I have to see if the comma is used correctly, or if it is not used correctly, then we are going to fix it. Okay, now what do we have here in the beginning? You can write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 rules which we use commas. The first one, use comma and a conjunction to join 2 sentences. Like we said, we discussed it earlier. When I'm joining 2 sentences, I have to use a comma in between. Use commas to separate words in a series. When I'm talking about more than one thing, I have to use a comma to separate them. Use a comma in the beginning and the ending of the letter. The last rule that we did just now. Use a comma between the name of the city and the state or the address. When I'm talking about my place, I'm talking about my city, I will simply use commas to separate each word. And the last one, we are going to use the comma to separate month and date with the year. So these are the 5 rules. You can write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I tried to write them, but I couldn't write. So let's see. Sentence number 1.
Page what?
Page 218, Kareem. Okay, Raghat, can you read sentence number 1?
Okay. Ants are social insects and they live in groups called colonies.
Colonies. Excellent. So is this sentence correct, Raghat, or if there is a mistake? Because I see 1 comma here. Is this correct? I am joining 2 sentences. So yes, this is correct. Excellent. So
Yes.
quickly I will write C. Excellent, Raghat. Because this is just 2 sentences joined together, and while joining them, I have used 1 comma and the conjunction word and. Ants are social, comma, and they live in groups called colonies. Excellent. Okay, now Malik, sentence number 2.
Sentence number 2.
Yes, please.
Ants many live in
Rotten.
rotten logs, leaves, all
Thorns.
Thorns.
Excellent. Ants may live in rotten logs, leaves, or thorns. So what is the mistake in this sentence here? Where do I put the comma? Because there is no comma in this sentence. Where I will put the comma?
Between rotten logs, leaves.
Excellent, excellent. Rotten logs is another thing. I will put a comma here. Leaves, another thing. I will put a comma here. And before the last one, I don't need a comma. I will put 2 commas here. Ants may live in rotten logs, comma, another thing, leaves, comma, another thing, or thorns. And because or thorns is the last one, so I don't need to put a comma before the last one. Okay. Yes, okay. Now, Heidi, can you read the third one?
Number 4.
Heidi, can you please read number 3 from me?
I finished my report on on October 3, 2007.
7. Yes, so Heidi, what is the mistake in this sentence? Where do I put comma?
In finished and in October.
No, the sentence is correct. Because this is just a regular sentence. And if you see carefully, they already put a comma. October 3, comma 2007. This means this sentence is correct. I only need to write C. There is no need for another comma. There is nothing to be separated. That's why we will just write C after that. Okay, now, Abdulaziz Abu Bakr, can you read number 4?
Yes, I will.
Yes, please.
An ant sting is painful, but it isn't poisonous.
Excellent.
After painful.
After painful. Excellent. Thank you so much. After painful, because I'm separating 2 sentences. Before the conjunction word but, I have to put a comma. An ant's sting is painful, comma, but it isn't poisonous. Okay, now who's here? Ishel, can you read the last one, number 5?
That scientist lives in Miami, Florida.
What is wrong in this sentence? Is there anything wrong or no? That scientist lives in Miami, Florida. There is nothing wrong in this sentence. I will simply write C because they have already used a comma in separating the name of the city and the name of the state. Miami, Florida. These are the 2 states in America. So we finish this page. We do not have page number 219. So we have move on to page number 220, 220.
Number 5, we will make
Okay, now sentence number 1.
Teacher.
Ali, can you read sentence number 1?
Dear
Cousin.
Peter.
Okay, so which one is correct, Ali, in it? Which one has used the comma in the correct way? Dear cousin Peter, I am writing a letter. I have to see which option has used the
B.
comma in the correct way.
B. B. B.
B? No, B has used 2 commas.
D,
Cousin, comma, Peter.
D.
No, this is option number C.
D.
Option number C, dear cousin Peter. I complete everything, then I put a comma. So option number C, I have to see that dear teacher Sarah, dear cousin Peter, dear friend Ahmed. So all these words together, then a comma in the last. Okay, now, Adam, number 2. Adam is here. Adam? Rahat, can you read number 2?
I'm here.
Okay, please read, Adam.
We went
Because we are running out of time.
on a hike on April 23, 2007 7.
Yes, so which one is correct? Adam, which one has used the comma in the correct way? A, B, C, or D? I have to separate the month and the date from year. So which one has used the comma correctly?
D.
Option number D. Excellent, excellent. Option number D. That's how we separate them. Okay, now Heidi, number 3, faster.
Okay. Our high took place near.
Yes, our hike took place. Now I am using an address. Which one has used the comma correctly? A, B, C, or D? Albany, New York.
D.
D.
D. D. Teacher D.
No, Albany, New. No, New York is another name. Albany is another name. Albany is the name of the area and New York is the name of the city. So option number A. Option number A, Albany and New York. These will be separated because New York is another name and Albany is another place. So 2 separate places separated with a comma. Noor, can you read number 4?
Yes. We hiked in the many insects woods and we saw woods, comma, and we saw woods,
Teacher.
comma,
Teacher.
and we saw woods or we saw.
Yes, Malik.
Can you let me to see the first one because I don't finish it.
The first page.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish the lesson. If we, in the end, if we get the time, then you can see it. Otherwise, I will post this lesson complete video on EduKids. Then you can see it from there.
Okay.
Okay, now Noor, which one is it? We hiked in the woods, comma, and we saw many insects. So option number?
B.
Option B.
B.
Excellent, Noor. Excellent. Option B. Okay. Lean, number 5.
Okay. We saw beetles, crickets, beetles, crickets, and
Yes, so which one has used the comma correctly? We saw beetles, crickets, and ants. Which one is correct, Lean?
Option D.
Option D. Excellent. Option D, because beetles, comma, crickets, comma, and ants. And before and, no need for comma. Last one. Last one. Abdul Rahman, can you read the last one? Your favorite cousin, Tad. Your favorite cousin, Tad. So A, B, C, or D? Option A. Excellent. Option A. Because your favorite cousin, comma, the name of the cousin. If I am writing it, I will put your favorite cousin and the name of the cousin. So this is how we finish it. And we quickly move on to the last page and let's see how much time we have to finish. I have muted you all because I really need to finish it. I will try to do the first 7 sentences.
Teacher, you said you muted us, but I can open my mouth.
Yes, I gave you the option to open if you have to say anything. So please do not talk. Let's see.
Okay.
Again, we have to hear 1 from 7 to add the comma. If there is no comma in it, or if there is no mistake in it, then I'm going to write C. But if there is no comma in it, this means the sentence is wrong and we have to add comma. Sentence number 1. My dad studies insects and he loves his work. I'm joining 2 sentences. I must put a comma before and. Sentence number 2. He has studied insects in Hawaii, Brazil, and Costa Rica. So we have here to add a comma before Brazil because these are 2 separate places. Hawaii, comma, Brazil, comma, and Costa Rica. I'm separating all the places where he has studied. Sentence number 3. He saw enormous butterflies near San Jose, Costa Rica. Now this sentence is Correct. Because the comma is used correctly. Number 4, Dad went to Africa on July 4, 2003. I'm separating the day and month with the year. There he saw huge moths, ants, and mosquitoes. So huge moths, comma, ants, comma, and mosquitoes. So that's how we finish the lesson. And I will post this video on the group, and if you miss out anything, you can check it from there. Okay, thank you, because this meeting is going to end now. Thank you, everyone.
The teacher, let me to see the